We are now with Yoav Kutner. Yoav is CEO of Oro Incorporated. Hello, Yoav.
Hello, Gerard. How are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yoav, it's a pleasure to be with you, and we have some questions for you. The cat was born 30 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing 30 years ago?
30 years ago, I was still in high school. I think I was taking a class in computers, and I actually started playing guitar exactly 30 years ago. So, so this is what I was doing 30 years ago. I started my first band. I was taking, I think it was COBOL class in computers and some university.
Yoav, how did you become interested in digital commerce and make it your business?
Yeah, so it actually was pure kind of luck, because we started a company called Varian, and before that it was called iRubin, where we were doing services, myself and Roy Rubin, my co-founder at Magento. And slowly more and more of the customers that we were doing custom implementations for, custom projects for, were asking us for e-commerce projects. So more and more of our customers became e-commerce projects. And when they were asking us for e-commerce, we started building a practice around e-commerce. At one point, it was about, I want to say 80% of what we were doing was all around e-commerce and e-commerce implementations. So we really started focusing on that more than anything else that we were doing at the time.
And your first personal purchase on the net, do you remember where it was and what kind of product did you buy?
Yeah, I think it was actually monitors for our business. So I bought on eBay, I found Dell monitors, flat LCD monitors, and I didn't like buying online. I was afraid that my personal information would be leaked, and so I remember the first time that we did it, I was not happy about it, but slowly I built my confidence and learned how it works. So like any new technology, it was weird, but it came and it arrived on time, and we got what we ordered. So I felt, okay, this is good and it works. And it was actually on eBay, to be honest. That was my first experience buying online.
Today, when you are on an e-commerce site or a web shop, what do you like the most and what annoys you the most?
Yeah, I think the usability. So in general, finding what I need fast. I think that will be definitely the first thing that kind of leaves me on the website. If I can see what I need and not spend too much time looking for it, then I would definitely use it. And then the checkout process. I think, if I compare the checkout experience on Amazon to any new website I go to, if I'm required to have too many steps and not a quick checkout process, I think that will be my kind of second thing. So I think first thing, I want to find what I'm looking for, and second thing is definitely kind of the whole kind of experience about the buying and checking out. If it's fast and usable, I will use it, and if not, most likely I will not. I think the other thing is on the other side of this is the customer service that I will get from that website. So again, not so much related to the software and the e-commerce part, but definitely to the part of interacting with the business and stuff like that. So it's extremely important for me.
According to you, what are the most significant changes in the development of the digital commerce over the last 3 decades?
Wow, 3 decades. So I think
not only e-commerce, but commerce in general.
First, in the last 30 years, I think the whole buying experience changed a lot. I think as the web became more usable, the e-commerce sites became a lot more usable as well. So first, the speed, I think that is very, very significant and something that maybe we're taking for granted. But I remember, maybe not 30 years ago, but 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you would go on a website and loading the page would take a few good seconds, I would say 30, maybe even a minute to load the whole page. Some pages would not load at all. Images would disappear. So something we're taking for granted is the speed that we're getting the pages today. I think that's something that is definitely big significant change for us, because we're really able to use a website today, see what we are looking for quickly, and find if that's the place I want to be. It used to be horrifying to just sit on a web page for, like I said, a few good seconds, if not a minute or so, to get the content that you need. So internet is a big development. I think the other thing that is really significant is definitely payments. And I know in US we're taking a lot of this for granted already, but being able to pay online, being able to pay online securely is something that is the biggest hurdle that we had in e-commerce. I mean, once people started trusting that their information is not going to be stolen every time they put it in there, that would be a definite big achievement, I think, for all all the industry we're in, because that really allows shoppers and people to actually buy securely and not be afraid that every time they put in their credit card number, it will be used all over the place. So again, maybe it's not 100% secure yet, but definitely the idea that we are not going to lose our information every time is something that is definitely a big hurdle that we had early on. And I think this is not only on the technology side, but definitely also the credit card companies adjusted to this and are taking more steps to make us secure when we're using our credit cards online. What else? I think a bunch of other stuff came up. So I think at one point when all the chat systems came up, so you could actually talk to somebody. In the beginning, it used to be a live person. Today, we're talking to machines already. But when it came on, I remember when it started being very much used, really helped to get the idea that I don't have to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. I could chat to somebody while I'm looking at the product. So when that came out a few years ago, 10 years ago or so, and when it became popular, it worked for a certain level. Some merchants really gave a good experience, and you could chat to a sales rep or somebody that could help you find what you're looking for or answer questions. It definitely is something that improved the buying experience online and helped us kind of progress that forward and have more people that use the online shopping experience.
We know that Eurocommerce is a B2B platform. Can you tell us something about the changes in B2B experience? Yeah, so in B2B, I think we're about 5 to 10 years behind the B2C world, the business to consumer world in e-commerce. We're seeing a lot of what we call pen and paper companies. Yeah. Companies that really still use, pen and paper, and if they're really advanced, they use spreadsheets. And maybe their email, their inbox, but their mailbox. But I think a lot of stuff we're doing today with Oro is moving and really transforming digitally a lot of what the B2B world is about. And we're able to really innovate on this still. So I think in B2C, we're at some kind of plateau right now in terms of innovation. I'm sure there'll be more innovation to come as technology progresses, but right now we're some kind of plateau. I think most websites are starting to look very, very similar in terms of functionality, in terms of features that they provide, the user experience that they provide. But in B2B, I see a lot of innovation still. There's a lot to cover, a lot of different use cases. We are catering to a relationship versus in B2C, we are more catering to a one-time shopper, unless you're Amazon. Most other online businesses see one-time shoppers. But in B2B, it is a relationship between a seller and a buyer, a company that buys from one company. And to have this relationship online in a way that kind of functions is something that is definitely interesting to us. And I think we can innovate a lot there in the B2B space. So to conclude, Yoav, e-commerce or commerce in 30 years, how do you imagine it? Well, it's up to technology and where it will be. But if AI and if virtual reality is really going to live up to all the things that they're developing, I think we will be in a more immersive experience. So we'll be able to sit at home and at least virtually try on stuff, play with stuff around, and maybe not even have a chip, right? Maybe we'll be able to 3D print it at home without waiting for the package to arrive a few days later. So I really think that it's where technology is going to be, and e-commerce is just going to be a big part of it. Hopefully, there will still be some human touch to it, but the way I imagine it, I have my virtual reality tool, whatever that will be, or hologram. I see what I'm shopping, playing around with it, and then when I'm and maybe I get a good recommendation and talking to some machine that knows exactly what I'm looking for, and when I'm ready to buy, I pay and I get it printed within a few minutes in my house and I'm done. So that's the future. We'll see how fast that comes and if we'll still be around, but I really think that based on everything I see now being developed in technology, that this is our future. Yoav, we are very grateful. We want to thank you to accept this interview. Absolutely, thank you. And see you soon. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, see you soon in France in September, I think. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.